most people will go to the grocery store and buy the meat. So that makes it allowable.
What the f***? Buddhism. It's all about compassion, non-violence, and love. Right? Not according to this Buddhist. Another vegan sent me this video and told me I had to react to this Buddhist hypocrite and expose him. So here we are. I've got my Namas Stop Hurting Animals t-shirt on and I'm ready to go. Let's jump into this and let's react to this video of this anti-vegan Buddhist.
In order to kill, there has to be 5 things that take place. There has to be a living being. You have to have intention to kill it. You take a weapon, you use that weapon, the being dies. Now, there's a lot of people that are butchers out here. When you go into the store and you buy some meat, is it a living being? Not was it a living being, is it a living being? No. Did you have intention to kill that living being? No. Did you take a weapon and use that weapon and the being die? No. So there's no wrongdoing in that.
Holy shit, this is incredible. So in Buddhist countries, murder is legal. How do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
And what is your defense?
Well, you see, I did hire the hitman to kill my boss, and he did do the job and, you know, killed my boss, but it wasn't my intention to kill my boss. It was the killer's intention. I didn't directly take a weapon and do it. The killer did that. So I'm not actually at fault here. There's no wrongdoing in that.
Well, right you are. Case dismissed.
Yes.
This is some of the most backwards logic I've ever seen coming from religious preachers, and trust me, I've done a few reaction videos on religious preachers, but this takes the biscuit as one of the really standout, terrible things that anyone has ever said about non-human animals. Unbelievable.
Especially vegetarians really have a thing about meat. Oh, you're killing living beings. If you stop buying meat, then they'll stop killing living beings. Well, I'm sorry, it don't happen like that. Not in this world.
Another gold nugget coming from this oh so wise Buddhist monk. The world isn't that simple. No, it's true. The world is a complicated place. It's going to take more than just a boycott to take down this multi-billion-dollar industry that benefits and profits off the exploitation of non-human animals. But that isn't an excuse to continue contributing to these multi-billion-dollar industries that profit from exploiting non-human animals. What kind of logic is this?
Animals are bred and have their throats slit for meat. It's totally unnecessary and cruel, as I can get all of my nutrition from plant-based sources. But if I don't buy meat, animals are still having their throats slit because other people are still buying meat. So I'll just buy meat and keep paying people to slit animals' throats. Because, you know, logic. There are people who kick dogs. It's totally unnecessary and cruel. But if I don't kick dogs, dogs are still going to get kicked. So I'll just kick this dog. Because, you know, logic. There is racism in the world. And it's totally unnecessary and cruel. But if I'm not a racist, racism still happens. So I'll just be a racist. Because, you know, logic.
But vegetarians don't understand that there's a whole lot of insects that are killed because of growing the vegetables, digging in the soil. That happens. But what's the intention?
This Buddhist monk just used the crop deaths though argument. Seriously, animals and insects can be killed and often are killed in the farming of vegetables, fruits and vegetables. This is true. Unfortunately, we still live in a non-vegan world where vegetable and plant farmers prioritize their profits over the animals. They often poison and kill other animals and insects to protect their profits rather than finding other solutions. Vegans clearly don't want this. When you purchase plant-based products, you're not requesting that those farmers kill animals or insects for you. On the flip side of this though, when you pay for animal products, when you go to the shop and you buy meat, dairy, eggs, leather, whatever it is, you are literally paying someone to breed, enslave, use, and then kill animals for those products. You are paying for that directly. You are asking the farmer and the slaughter workers and everyone involved in that process to abuse and kill for you. As the YouTuber Carnism Debunked said in his recent video on this exact topic,
telling a vegan they're the same as a non-vegan because crop harvesting kills animals would be like telling someone who lives in a house that they are as bad as someone who pays a hitman to regularly kill people. Because the construction industry results in guaranteed deaths every year. Absurd, right? I needn't say more on this argument.
the intention of buying vegetables isn't that any animals will be killed. The intention is to buy vegetables. And there is no need for any animals to be killed in the growing of vegetables. But unfortunately, these farmers do it anyway.
Now, there was an Arahat. He just became an Arahat. And with his psychic ability, he started looking that if he walked, he would be killing living beings. Not even ants, just beings in the ground. So he stood in one spot. And then he saw that if he drank any water, he was killing living beings. So he stopped drinking water. And then he saw that while he was breathing, he was killing living beings. So he started holding his breath. And the Buddha came around and said, "Monk, what are you doing?" And the monk told him. And the Buddha said, "You can't look at it that way. That's why you want to become an Arahat, so you can get off this wheel of samsara and not have that kind of problem again." I mean, there's all kinds of beings inside your body that are dying just because you put food in your stomach. Can't stop that. Got to eat, right?
This is a very clever tactic that these types of gurus, religious leaders, they all tend to use the same tactic. I've seen it over and over again. They take something that is extreme, like this guy who refused to walk, refused to drink water, refused to move, for example, and they try to make the thing that they're arguing against seem as though it's the same. We've seen this exact same tactic with Eckhart Tolle and Sadhguru.
Without going to an extreme, there are certain sects in India where they even mustn't kill a mosquito or a fly. People who belong to that sect, and that is perhaps taking it to an extreme.
Cows are getting tortured just to get the milk from them, and it's about their reproductive system, and we are dependent on the milk which should be given to the her children from the ghee
all right.
get from the milk.
So, it's better to slaughter them, not torture them, right?
What?
This Buddhist is arguing against people who believe eating meat is wrong. So he takes a story of someone who took the idea of the non-harm to a harmful level, to the point where he would have died if he continued living that way. So this monk who refused to move, who refused to drink water, he would have died if he continued living like that. This Buddhist here tries to use that example as an argument to prove that eating meat is right. This apparent influential Buddhist leader is using the same logic that you see from the general uneducated anti-vegan that you'd come across in the street who just says things because they don't want to go vegan.
Hey, so I'm a vegan now. I'm getting all of my nutrition through a balanced plant-based diet. I'm perfectly healthy. I can get everything that I need in life without the abuse and commodification and slicing the throats of animals. I can avoid all of that and live harmoniously with the other animals on the planet. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, right. I know a guy who almost died from being vegan.
Oh, really? What happened?
He fasted for 35 days and only drank his own piss.
It sounds like that guy has some issues that are totally unrelated to veganism. And how does he have anything to do with what I just explained to you about living healthily without exploiting animals?
It doesn't, but veganism is a starvation cult. Obviously. Stupid fucking vegans. Bacon though.
The Buddhist is trying to make you connect not eating meat with starvation. It is a pathetic attempt to manipulate the audience. Not moving and starving yourself is irrational, illogical, harmful. It's the behavior of someone who isn't thinking clearly. Being vegan because you can live perfectly healthily without the need for any animal products, so without the need for paying for animals to be forcibly bred into a life of captivity, where their bodies will be manipulated, their throats will be slit for profit, for pleasure, convenience. Being vegan because you're against that and you can be perfectly healthy is a perfectly rational decision that you make to try and avoid harming other animals. It's the behavior of someone who's thinking clearly and logically. Trying to act like vegans are irrational, like the example he gave of this monk with Buddha, is just a disgusting attempt at manipulation. And these religious leaders, it seems like all of them do this whenever veganism is brought up and animal rights is brought up.
Suppose there was a monk that was invited to somebody's house for a meal, and there was meat, and there was other curries and all of this other kind of stuff. Now, if he ate that with anything other than loving kindness in his mind, then he wasn't following the Buddhist teaching.
Ah, okay, yeah, that makes total sense. So if I'm in someone's house and they serve me the roasted body of the neighbor's dog they just killed, I have to eat it with nothing but loving kindness, or I'm not following the Buddha's teachings. Or is it only specific animals that we should just shut up and eat without question? I hear some of you saying, but it's cultural. Well, there are some cannibalistic tribes in the world, so if you find yourself as a monk sat down at the table with a cannibalistic tribe and they serve you up the boiled leg of a human that they just killed and chopped the leg off, better eat it up with nothing but loving kindness, or you're not following the teachings of the Buddha. It's almost like this Buddhist has interpreted the teachings of Buddha to justify the things that he wants to do and eat the things that he likes. No, a highly respected religious leader would never do that.
Monks, there are 3 instances that you cannot eat meat. If you see that being killed, if you hear them cry out while they're being killed, or if you suspect they're killed directly for you. People want to give me shellfish. They want to give me lobster because they think it's a great meal. I can't eat that. I suspect that it's killed for me. So there are some restrictions of being a monk, but when somebody brings goat meat or something like beef or whatever, I didn't see it get killed, I didn't hear it get killed, I don't suspect that it was killed for me, because most people will go to the grocery store and buy the meat. So that makes it allowable.
What the fuck? There you have it, Buddhists. All you have to do to justify eating the bodies of animals who screamed and begged for their lives, were hung upside down and had their throats slit. All you have to do to justify that is cover your eyes, cover your ears, and pretend it didn't happen for you. Because that's exactly how you lead a responsible and fulfilling life. Just ignore violence. And if you caused it, that's alright. Just pretend you didn't. Then you can keep paying for it to continue.
I had a German student that came, and somebody told him he wanted him to go out and pull weeds, and he wouldn't do it. He said, I'm breaking the precept of killing. It took me almost 2 weeks to convince him that the Buddha didn't say anything about grass or plants. He didn't say anything about that. It was sentient beings. I told him he couldn't eat any food. He couldn't eat any meat. He couldn't eat any vegetables because he was responsible for the death. He finally got it.
We see the same technique we saw earlier, the same thing we've seen with Eckhart Tolle, the same thing we've seen with Sadhguru. He gives an example of someone who took non-violence to an extreme level, to the point where he would have starved himself by not eating anything because he felt like he was killing and taking life by eating plants, and he compared it to the rational and logical decision to avoid the use and consumption of animal products and be vegan because we can live completely healthily without abusing animals. If your religion, or your religious leader or guru, your culture, or your tradition tells you to breed, use, and kill animals for your own convenience and pleasure, it's time to stand up and reject that bullshit. Reject that violence. We're not in the Dark Ages. This is 2021. Stop taking all of your lessons on morality from dead people who lived thousands and thousands of years ago. Most of modern society has rejected the ancient, religious, cultural notions that women belong to men, that certain people are supposed to be slaves, that homosexuality is wrong, because we realized that these lessons from the past, from these ancient books and ancient teachings, we realized that they were wrong, they were immoral, they were unethical, and that they were disgusting and oppressive. Now we need to reject these religious, cultural, and traditional notions that say that other animals are here solely to serve us, to be oppressed and used by us. The notions that tell us that it's okay to breed, use, and kill them for things that we want. Because now we realize, just like those other lessons of the past, these lessons are not only irrelevant, but they're disgusting and oppressive. Because we learned that we can be perfectly healthy and happy without abusing animals. Click the link in the pinned comment to find out how you can start living that life today. It's a free resource that can give you all of the information you would ever need to know about going vegan. And if you like this t-shirt, Namas Stop Hurting Animals, get on my website, it's davidrams.com. Pick one of these up, they're available right now. Thanks so much for watching, see you in the next video.